There is a black garden hose coiled on a roof in your neighborhood right now, heating water to 140 degrees Fahrenheit without burning a single cubic foot of natural gas, without drawing a single watt from the grid, and without a single moving part that can fail, wear out, or require a service call. The family living in that house has not paid a water heating bill since they installed it. Their total setup cost was $1.40 at the hardware store. The American household next door spent $480 last year heating the same quantity of water with a tank appliance that cost $1,200 to install and will need replacing in 8 years. The United States water heater manufacturing industry generates $28 billion in annual revenue. Add the gas utility bills, the electricity costs, the plumber service visits, and the annual maintenance contracts, and the total economic ecosystem built around heating residential water exceeds $60 billion every single year. Every dollar of that revenue depends on one belief remaining intact inside your household, that you need their equipment to get hot water. The moment you coil a black hose on a sun-exposed surface and connect it to your shower line, you exit that $60 billion system permanently. You take your $480 per year with you, and you never come back. A black rubber hose in direct sunlight is not a workaround or an approximation. It is the original technology. The one that came before the gas company, before the electric utility, before the tank water heater bolted to your basement wall. Every civilization that ever had running water and access to sunlight discovered this independently. The physics have not changed once in 2,000 years. What changed is who profited from making sure you forgot. This is the story of the solar water heater that a Baltimore tinsmith invented in 1891, that thousands of California families used to eliminate their gas bills entirely before 1920. And that the utility industry systematically erased from American plumbing codes, trade school curricula, and public memory over the following 5 decades. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If these stories matter to you, the subscribe button and the bell are the best way to make sure this knowledge survives. This is where we open the vaults the industry welded shut. Let me take you back further than 1891. Much further. Persian engineers in the pre-Islamic era designed passive solar water channels carved into dark basalt stone. Cold water fed into these channels at dawn and arrived at the receiving basin warm enough for bathing by midday, heated by nothing except the thermal absorption properties of dark stone under desert sun. No fire, no fuel, no labor beyond the initial construction. Roman bathhouses routed lead supply pipes deliberately across south-facing terrace surfaces before the water entered the furnace system below. The sun did a significant portion of the heating work for free, reducing fuel consumption in structures that operated continuously for centuries. In Japan, communal bath operators painted wooden water barrels black and placed them in open courtyards during daylight hours. The practice was documented in the Edo period and continued unchanged because it worked without cost or complexity. Every one of these discoveries was made independently. No shared knowledge, no common textbook, no coordinated discovery, just observation. Dark surfaces absorb sunlight and transfer that energy to water. The principle is so straightforward that human beings across every inhabited continent and every historical era arrived at it without assistance. That kind of convergence does not happen with theories. It happens with facts. In 1891, a tinsmith named Clarence Kemp built a metal tank, painted it black, placed it inside a wooden box with a glass lid facing south, filled it with cold water before sunrise, and measured the temperature at 2 in the afternoon. The water was hot enough to scald skin on contact. Kemp had not discovered a new principle. He had simply built the most refined version of something humanity already knew and packaged it for commercial sale. He called it the Climax Solar Water Heater and sold it door to door across the American South and into California. By 1900, more than 1,600 Climax units were installed in Southern California homes alone. Entire neighborhoods were running hot baths, washing dishes, and laundering clothes without paying the gas company a single cent. The utility industry watched their California revenue projections collapse and responded not with competition, but with legislation. Before I continue, I need to stop and tell you something important. This video is only the surface of what the industry has hidden from you. I spent months collecting everything they buried into one place. Drain cleaning chemistry that Roman aqueduct engineers used 2,000 years ago, and that the $30 billion plumbing service industry buried behind fear campaigns and building code rewrites. Rust conversion compounds the U.S. military deployed across 3 war theaters in 1943 that the auto industry repackaged at 15 times the raw cost. Earth battery blueprints that generate sustained electrical current from wet soil and scrap copper wire. Paint restoration chemistry that permanently rebuilds oxidized automotive clear coat for $3 from the hardware store adhesives aisle. All of it is inside the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. Over 10 guides in one place. No filler, every page built for immediate action. The link is in the description right now, but stay here. Because what the University of Arizona measured inside a black polyethylene tube in direct desert sunlight is the data the water heater industry cannot survive. You reading. A 2019 study from the University of Arizona measured water temperatures inside black polyethylene tubing exposed to direct desert sunlight under peak summer conditions. No reflectors, no insulation, no mechanical components of any kind. Peak readings hit 152 degrees Fahrenheit. The United States Department of Energy recommends setting residential tank water heaters to 120 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent scalding. A $1 black garden hose in July exceeds the DOE recommended temperature by 32 degrees using zero energy input of any kind. A standard 50-foot black garden hose in 3/4-inch diameter holds approximately 1.3 gallons of water. Left coiled in direct sunlight on a dark surface for 2 hours on a summer day in most of the continental United States, that water reaches between 120 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit consistently, not occasionally, consistently. The physics are not variable. Dark surfaces absorb solar radiation and transfer thermal energy to the fluid they contain. This is not an experiment. It is thermodynamics. The average American household spends between $400 and $600 per year heating water. That is approximately 18% of the total home energy bill. Over a 10-year period, a family of 4 spends between $4,000 and $6,000 on water heating alone. Every dollar of that money goes to utilities and equipment manufacturers who have known since Kemp's 1891 patent that a black surface in sunlight does the same job for free. So why is this not standard equipment in every American home? Why did an entire nation spend a century paying for something that costs $1 to replicate? The mechanism of suppression was built in stages, and it was designed to be invisible. Through the 1920s and 1930s, gas industry lobbyists worked state legislatures across America to rewrite residential plumbing codes. Passive solar water heating methods were reclassified as non-standard. That single regulatory designation meant that no licensed plumber could legally install a passive solar system without risking their professional certification. The risk was not to the homeowner, it was to the tradesman's livelihood. The code change converted every licensed plumber in America into an unwitting enforcer of utility company revenue protection. By the 1950s, passive solar heating had been removed from plumbing trade school curricula entirely. An entire generation of plumbers graduated without ever encountering the concept in any formal training context. The erasure was not dramatic. It was simply an omission repeated annually until the knowledge gap became generational. By the time the 1970s oil crisis created genuine public demand for energy alternatives, almost nobody in the professional trades remembered that the answer had been sitting on American rooftops since before the First World War.